Warning, the following video contains spoilers.
I really don't want to talk about this because I'm f***ing terrified. Is Lord of Mysteries. it's Lord of Mysteries didn't make the list.
Torches! Get your torches! Forks! Can't be an angry mob without pitchforks!
And yes, I did finish Lord of Mysteries, and I want to talk about it. I don't want. I'm scared. I'm scared. Lord of Mystery, Fanbase, you guys fucking terrify me. Okay, I'm scared to talk about Lord of Mysteries. Every time I've even just mentioned like the word Lord of Mysteries, it gets fucking clipped.
You're goddamn right.
And it gets talked about, and I'm like, I don't. It is not mid. It is not mid, guys. Stop putting words in my. Stop trying to get me in trouble. Okay, I gotta choose my words very carefully for this. I really enjoyed Lord of Mysteries. I did enjoy it. I see the vision. I see the potential. I see why this has such a dedicated and such a vocal fan base. It is a series and it's a world and it's a franchise I can definitely fall in love with now that future seasons has been like announced and future seasons are coming out. But I wouldn't be lying when I said I came out of Lord of Mysteries and I didn't like it as much as I wanted to like it. And there is like one kind of like main reason for this, because most of my issues with Lord of Mysteries basically boil down to mostly the execution of the first half. Going into the world of Lord of Mysteries, I can see just like how intricate all of the little power systems and the world building and the politics, and there is so much lore to lose yourself into this world, and it's like a super original isekai world as well. My issue with it is that because of the execution of some of the first few episodes, I never felt like I had enough foundational knowledge to fully appreciate everything that was going on. It gets better in the second half. Definitely does get better in the second half, but there are still like, I left the season still with so many questions about small stuff. I felt like I could follow along with the plot and the mystery, but I never felt like I could truly comprehend the full vision of everything that's going on. I can't really talk about this without just mentioning some spoilers. So I'm just gonna do some spoilers, okay? For example, it's literally called A Lot of Mysteries. See, I've read this comment a lot, right? Haha, the meme. My issue is that there were points where I didn't know whether I was lacking a certain piece of information because I didn't have the foundational knowledge to not know it, or if it was a mystery by intent. You know, that is basically how I felt watching a lot of Lord of Mysteries. Am I supposed to know this? Or did I just miss a line? Or was this concept just not explained well enough? And I really felt that with the final episode. So here we go, final episode.
Warning, spoilers.
Spoiler alert, all right. So the final episode, everything gets explained and everything comes together and all of the different events and coincidences are linked. It felt like the series was like trying to have this like big reveal. This is what was like really going on. This was the secrets, right? All of this basically relied on one artifact. And funnily enough, I actually sussed out a lot of the reveal before it was going to happen. Why was that? Because I had played Honkai Star Rail. And when every episode ended with like the fucking scribble thing, with the scribble sound effect, I was like, okay, this is exactly like the fucking Penacony, the end of the Penacony arc, where we are just writing some kind of reality. So when this idea of all of these different coincidences started coming together, I was like, there's some mastermind controlling it and writing some kind of reality. I kind of sussed it out. Sorry, it's not even Penacony, it's Amphorius. Sorry, Amphorius. Wrong arc, same game. Where I got confused and where I really felt like the gaps in my knowledge was during this big reveal where we are told that all of the events are orchestrated by one mastermind thanks to this one artifact. I left that explanations with more questions than I did satisfaction, because instead of feeling satisfied seeing all of these different events kind of like come together and link together, my first thought was, damn, this feels like a really convoluted way to have the mastermind essentially get this one item. That was his goal, just to get this one item. Why are you orchestrating an entire fucking novel of a plot just so you can get this one item? It's like the ashes of something. I don't remember the name. I could assume he did that because of some constraints with the item or some constraints with the power system. I'm assuming that was the reason why he didn't just write, and then Dunn goes into the vault and gets out the ashes and he goes to this place, right? I assume that was the reason why he had to orchestrate this entire plot. The problem is, unless I missed something, there was never like an explanation about what the actual constraints of this artifact is. Maybe I missed it. And because I didn't know what the constraints of the artifact was, I couldn't appreciate what this master plan was. You know, so I just kept thinking, am I missing something here with this explanation? Because, okay, you're revealing to me this big kind of plot twist, but I still don't fully understand the intricacies. And because I don't understand the intricacies of this plot twist, I can't fully have like that mind-blowing moment of, holy shit, yo, this thing was happening the entire time. And that was just one example out of a lot of small intricate bits. For example, he wrote that Dunn takes out the ashes. I believe it wasn't like the optimal move to take out the ashes because of some kind of reason, but he did it and it was out of character for Dunn to make that decision. My problem is I couldn't understand why it would be out of character to make that decision in the first place. Character decisions like that I couldn't fully appreciate because I couldn't fully appreciate the power systems behind the artifacts and what is the optimal choice whenever they're facing a spirit or an enemy or like whatever the hell is going on. And I believe what it mainly boils down to is at the beginning, I just don't feel like there was enough time for me to get enough foundational knowledge of the power system, of the world, because it seems like a really, really fucking cool ass power system, a really, really cool ass fucking world. I'm gonna hold my hand up right now. I fully admit that I might have missed something because they throw a lot at you in the first 6 episodes. And my problem was sometimes when they introduce a concept for such an intricate and hard power system, the show doesn't give the audience enough time for it to fully sink in and fully comprehend before moving on this next piece of lore drop or this next concept that they're going to introduce to you. I really, really wanted to like it more, but it just so much I felt like I was missing. I've memed it before where I'm like, damn, I don't understand this shit. And that is a meme, but I feel like there is still so much little things that I don't understand. I don't fully comprehend. Is this in character? Am I understanding this concept correctly? And I feel like they will get better in future seasons, which is why I'm going to like Lord of Mysteries more in future seasons, because I'll give you an example. For the longest time, I couldn't figure out what the main constraints of the main character's power was. I knew he was the seer class. He had the powers of divination. He could see spirits and stuff like that, but not once did I ever like fully suss out, okay, this is what you can do, this is what the limits of your powers are. And because I couldn't figure that out, there were some moments where I'm like, okay, am I fully understanding what his intentions are? And this is like contrasted when he goes from sequence 9 to sequence 8. There's one small scene showing that, okay, he can see a little bit in the future. He can now throw the paper and he has a weapon now and he can't do the wind flick attack. I was like, that's great. That's fucking great. I understand that. That little scene is all I needed to comprehend what your powers are. And then it paid off as well in the fight where he throws the mirror and he sees exactly what's coming. And I'm like, great, I'm following along with what this fight is trying to do and what the characters are thinking in this fight, which is such a big contrast to the first half where there are fights happening and then people would like just take out different artifacts that would do different things. And I'm like, I don't know what anyone's doing. I'm just appreciating the pretty animation and pretty fight scenes. That is pretty much it. So all this is to kind of say that The end of Lord of Mysteries made me conflicted because there was so much to love about it and there's so much I wanted to like about it, but I feel like there was so much that I couldn't fully appreciate without going out of my way to maybe watch a YouTube explanation video, or maybe just going out to read the wiki, or just going out to read the light novel, which I feel like shouldn't be needed for a pure anime adaptation. To sum it up, watching Lord of Mysteries is kind of like trying to find a single Chekhov's gun in an entire armory of guns. You don't know what the Chekhov gun is, but you need to be aware of every single gun in there just in case. That's it. Hopefully that made sense. Like I said, Lord of Mysteries fan. I don't want to have any beef with you guys. Genuinely, I liked the series. The adaptation itself just left me a little bit conflicted. And I hope that future seasons fix the issue that I had with specifically this adaptation. All right, that's it.